Hi and welcome. Today, we'll dive into the world of error handling in Excel. We'll start by understanding the common errors that occur while using formulas, and then explore how to effectively handle these errors using various Excel functions. Errors are an integral part of working with formulas, and Excel has specific error values to help you identify issues. Let's review each error type in detail, along with examples and solutions. Let's start with the not available error. Have you ever encountered the mysterious hashtag N/A error in your Excel spreadsheet? The hashtag N/A error in Excel stands for not available. It typically occurs when a formula or function can't find what it's looking for. This error is Excel's way of telling you that it couldn't produce a valid result based on the data or parameters you've provided. For example, if you're trying to calculate a discount using the IS function, it will calculate values for matches. But for values that do not match any condition, Excel will return the hashtag N/A error. As you see on the screen, our formula has two conditions. If neither condition is met, it returns the hashtag N/A error. To fix hashtag N/A errors, one method is to use the ISERROR function to test if the formula returned an error. The ISERROR function takes one argument, the value, and returns true if it finds an error, otherwise false. However, the ISERROR function isn't just limited to detecting the hashtag N/A error. It also identifies other errors like divide by zero, name not found, null value, etc. Instead of simply getting true or false, you may want to return a specific value if the condition isn't met. For example, you may want to offer 0, no discount, if neither condition is met in the IF formula. In this case, you can use the formula shown on screen. Here, the IF function works with ISERROR to return a default value when the formula encounters an error. Using if and ISERROR together can make the formula more complex, but fortunately, Excel provides a simpler alternative, the IFERROR function. The IFERROR function takes two arguments. The first argument is the value to test, and the second argument is the value to return if an error is found. This function will return 0 if it finds an error. Otherwise, it will return the original value from the formula in cell C2. Instead of creating a separate column to handle the error, you could directly update your IS formula to eliminate the hashtag N/A error and generate clean results in the discount column. This way, your formula not only calculates the correct discount values, but also handles potential errors gracefully, ensuring a clean and professional-looking spreadsheet. Now, let's talk about the ISNA and IFNA functions. In contrast to the ISERROR and IFERROR functions that handle all types of errors, the ISNA and IFNA functions are specifically designed to handle only the hashtag N/A error. If you are certain that the error type is hashtag N/A, you should use ISNA or IFNA instead of ISERROR and IFERROR for more precise error handling. The ISNA function works similarly to the ISERROR function. It takes a value as its argument and returns true if the value is hashtag N/A and false otherwise. You compare the true or false output of the ISNA function with the IF function to produce a more useful message or value. For example, if you want to replace the hashtag N/A error with 0, you can use the IF function as shown on the screen. This approach customizes the output, just as we did in the ISERROR example. The IFNA function is a streamlined alternative to using ISNA with the IF function. It works similarly to the IFERROR function, but is more specific as it only catches hashtag N/A errors, while IFERROR handles all types of errors. As you can see on the screen, the IFNA function replaces hashtag N/A errors with the value provided in its second argument. This makes it a simpler and more efficient option when you know the error in question is hashtag N/A. Now you understand that the hashtag N/A value means the formula cannot return a legitimate result, and you've learned how to handle or fix it. Sometimes, you may need to intentionally generate a not available error. You can do this by using the NA function as shown on screen. The hashtag number error indicates an issue with a number in your formula, often due to an invalid argument in a mathematical or trigonometric function. For instance, this error can occur if you provide a negative number where a positive number is required. The hashtag name error indicates that Excel doesn't recognize a name used in a formula as a valid object. This error often occurs due to a misspelled function name, an incorrectly spelled sheet name, or a mistyped cell reference. For example, as shown on the screen, If you enter a named range or reference that doesn't exist, Excel will return this error. The hashtag REF error indicates that your formula contains an invalid cell reference. This typically happens when a cell, row, or column that the formula depends on has been deleted. For example, as shown on the screen, I initially referenced cell F1 in a formula in cell B5. When I deleted cell F1, the formula in cell B5 returned the hashtag REF error because it could no longer find the reference it relied on. That hashtag value error indicates that your formula is using the wrong data type for the operation it is trying to perform. For example, as shown on the screen, the sum formula returns a hashtag value error because it attempts to sum a numeric value and a text string. Since the sum function only accepts numeric values, it cannot process the text, resulting in this error. The hashtag div/0 error occurs when a formula attempts to divide a value by 0. Since division by 0 is mathematically undefined, Excel returns this error. You will also encounter this error if the formula tries to divide a value by an empty cell, as Excel treats empty cells as 0 in such cases. The hashtag null error occurs when a formula attempts to use an intersection of two ranges that do not overlap. For example, as shown on the screen, the formula does not include a colon or any other valid operator to define a proper range. Excel interprets this as an attempt to find the intersection of two separate ranges, and since they do not intersect, it returns the hashtag null error. Now that you understand how these errors occur, it's time to learn how to handle them using functions like ISNA, IFNA, ISERR, or IFERROR, and ERROR.TYPE. Let's start with the ISNA function. We apply it to the range A2 to A8, which contains all 7 error types. As you can see on the screen, ISNA returns true only for the hashtag n/a error, while it returns false for all other errors. This means that the ISNA function is specifically designed to test for hashtag n/a errors and ignores all other error types. Next, we use the IFNA function. This function allows you to return a custom message or value when the reference cell contains a hashtag n/a error. As shown on the screen, it returns our custom message, yes, only for the hashtag n/a error. In conclusion, both ISNA and IFNA functions respond exclusively to hashtag n/a errors and ignore all other error types. Now, let's test the ISERR function. Unlike ISNA, ISERR returns true for any error except hashtag n/a. This is useful when you want to handle hashtag n/a errors separately and prevent them from being caught by a broader function. As demonstrated, ISERR returns true for all errors except hashtag n/a, for which it returns false. Moving on to the ISERROR function. This function detects all errors. When tested against any error, it returns true. It only returns false when no error is found. As previously discussed, ISERROR works similarly to ISNA, but with the key difference that it checks for all error types instead of just hashtag n/a. Next, the IFERROR function goes a step further. Instead of just checking for errors, it allows you to specify an alternate value or message to return if the formula results in an error. As shown on the screen, this function replaced errors with our custom value, yes. IFERROR is especially useful for simplifying formulas and avoiding additional if and ISERROR combinations. Finally, let's discuss the ERROR.TYPE function. This function helps identify the specific type of error by returning a numeric code between 1 and 8, depending on the error type. For example, it returns 1 for the hashtag null error, 7 for the hashtag n/a error, and so on. This is particularly useful when you need to take specific actions based on the type of error. For instance, you could use ERROR.TYPE in combination with an if function to display different messages or handle errors uniquely based on their type. Thank you for watching. If you found this tutorial helpful, please share it with others, give it a like, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Hit the notification bell so you never miss an update. Your support helps us create more valuable content. See you in the next video.